I now recognize the gentleman from Arizona, Mr. Crane, for 5 minutes of questions.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It's interesting being in this hearing today, where my Democrat colleagues continue to demonize ICE and Homeland Security. I think history and context are very important here. It's not lost on most of the American public that my Democrat colleagues actually caused this entire crisis with their open border policies that they all voted for, letting in close to 15 million illegal aliens. I also want to go through real quick some numbers of ICE deportations with other presidents who I believe both you, Mr. Scott, and you, Mr. Lyons, have worked for. Under President Clinton, 12 million illegal aliens were deported and removed from this country, some voluntary, some departures. Key, no riots. Under President Bush, 2 million, no riots. Obama, who was often referred to as the deporter-in-chief, 5 million, including returns, no riots. President Trump in his first term, 2 million deported, no riots. President Biden, 4 million, including expulsions, varying by estimates, no riots. President Trump again this year, 625,000, with 2 million voluntary leaving through CBP Home App. Mr. Scott, can you explain why these other presidents that you work for, both Democrat and Republican, have deported far more people than this president and we've seen no riots?
I would say it has a lot to do about rhetoric and misleading the American public about what's really going on and how important border security really is to this nation.
Let's talk also about my Democrat colleagues and something they also supported, and that's these sanctuary cities. I think that's very important, and I don't think a lot of Americans really understand these sanctuary cities. Mr. Scott, Mr. Lyons, is it true that you would rather send your officers into a jail to get some of these illegal alien criminals? Is it safer for your agents and also the illegal alien criminal if your officers are able to go into a jail instead of having to go out and find them on the street? Mr. Lyons, I'll start with you.
Yes, sir, it would be. You wouldn't see the amount of law enforcement officers involved in immigration operations.
Right. How about you, Mr. Scott?
I 100% agree with the director, and just as importantly, it would allow me to put more agents back on the border to prevent people from getting in here in the first place.
Let's also talk about these riots. Mr. Scott, Mr. Lyons, do you guys remember any riots, when for some of these victims that were assaulted and victimized by illegal alien criminals like Nate Baker, Laken Riley, Fletcher Harris, Skylar Provenza, Ivory Smith? I've got a whole list of them. Do you remember any riots from our Democrats or their constituents when any of these American citizens were victimized by illegal alien criminals?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Why do you think that is? Because that's the question that I get asked all the time. Congressman, why do the Democrats care more about illegal alien criminals than they care about these American citizens, many of them who are young, have their entire lives ahead of them, didn't show up to a protest, right, to obstruct federal law enforcement. They're just going about their daily lives and they get victimized by people who aren't supposed to be here. Why do you think they don't care about American citizens?
I cannot speculate, but when I look at the chaos that it creates and the corrosive nature that it creates, I go beyond the politics of the United States and I look at our nation-state adversaries like Iran, Russia, and China and their influence on social media to keep this negative discourse going. And I think this is a much bigger issue than we're actually admitting that it is in here.
I want to tie this together to something that's very pertinent that's going to happen this week here in Congress, where the American people are going to see the bookend of what's going on. We are going to attempt to pass the Save America Act, okay? Which requires documentary proof of U.S. citizenship to register to vote. It imposes photo ID requirements to vote, and it penalizes officials who do not enforce these requirements. And you won't see most of these folks over here on the other side that are demonizing you guys right now. You will not see them support it. So they let millions and millions of illegal aliens into the country. They set up these sanctuary cities so you can't go enforce these federal laws that are on the books that Congress has passed. And now they won't vote to stop these illegals from voting in our elections. If the American people don't understand what this whole thing is about, it's about one word, and it always has been. And that is power. They want power, and they need these illegals to vote in our elections. That's why they don't care about the fraud either, because they need those votes as well. Thank you. I yield back.
Gentlemen,